One-to-one iPad deployments are great, but they might not always be the most feasible solution. Shared iPad allows us to create a one-to-many deployment, allowing multiple students to use the same iPad. This is Zach. Let's learn how to set up Shared iPad in Jamf School. Before we get started, there are a few requirements to note. First, to keep things organized, we recommend a separate MDM server be created within Apple School Manager for shared iPads. This means if you have an MDM server created for automated device enrollment with one-to-one devices, to also create a separate MDM server connection specifically for shared iPads and also integrated with Jamf School. You can sync all devices through one MDM server, but separating them allows for more automated deployment. To learn more about creating MDM servers and integrating them with Jamf School, check out our video titled Automated Device Enrollment in Jamf School. Second, we need iPads with at least 32 gigabytes of storage assigned to that MDM server that are running iOS 9.3 or later for the most basic functionality. To be able to configure the storage quota per user on shared iPad devices, they need to have at least iPadOS 13.4. To be able to use temporary sessions, which allows users to log into shared iPad without a managed Apple ID and use a guest session, they need to have at least iPadOS 14.5. To configure a storage quota for shared iPad devices with temporary sessions enabled, they need to have at least iPadOS 17. Finally, to only use temporary sessions, teachers and classes must be synced in from Apple School Manager. However, for students to log into a shared iPad with a managed Apple ID, teachers, classes, and students must be synced in from Apple School Manager. Once we have all that ready, let's get to work. From the Jamf School dashboard, navigate to Organization, Settings, Shared iPad. In the Organization Name field, enter the name of your school as you would like it to appear on the logon screen of the shared iPads. If you're using the Apple Classroom app and would like teachers to log in on shared iPads rather than having iPads configured automatically, select the Allow Teacher Users to Log in on iPads with Shared iPad Enabled checkbox. Note, this will override the Automatically Configure Apple Classroom based on classes and users in Jamf School setting in the Apple Classroom settings. Click Save. If you're using Apple Classroom for your classes, the remaining settings for the classroom configuration can be found in the Apple Classroom section to the left. If you're using the Jamf EDU apps, Jamf Teacher, and Jamf School Student, check out our video titled Deploy Jamf EDU apps in Jamf School to learn how to configure them. Now that the settings are taken care of, we can create a new automated device enrollment profile for shared iPads. Navigate to Profiles, Automated Device Enrollment Profiles, and click the plus icon for iOS. Let's give this profile a descriptive name since it should only contain shared iPads, so I'm naming mine Shared iPads. Enter the proper support information for your school's IT department. Next, we have the option to choose a device name. Since shared iPads won't belong to any one person, it's recommended to use a variable to automatically assign device names. I'm using the %asset tag % variable so that my shared iPads will be renamed to whatever their asset tag is set to. Remember, placeholders can be used to set that information up ahead of time. Check out our video titled Placeholders in Jamf School to learn more. In the Options section, select Enable Shared iPad. With that selected, our options below have changed. In the Shared iPad Sessions section, we can choose to only allow temporary sessions, which removes the ability to log in with a managed Apple ID and instead lets users sign into a guest session that's erased after they log out. Temporary sessions are still available without this setting configured. Users will always have the option to sign into a guest session instead of their managed Apple ID. Below that, we can choose how long, in seconds, a device remains idle before automatically logging out of temporary sessions and normal sessions. I'm setting both of these to 600 so that my shared iPads are logged out automatically after 10 minutes of no activity. Next, we can change the storage configuration settings. Shared iPad saves local data from each user's session directly on the device, so that the next time they log into Shared iPad, their login process goes faster. With default users and storage selected, iPads use the recommended storage settings for their model. If we select resident users, we can set the maximum number of users that can sign into a device. Note that if the number we set is greater than the device's supported number of users, those devices will automatically cap their user count. If we select storage quota, then we can set how much space each user is able to take up. The number of users able to log into the device is then the quotient of the total available storage space divided by this quota. Note that this is only available on iPads running iPadOS 13.4 or later. I'm leaving mine set to the default. In the Managed Apple ID default domain settings, we can choose a list of domains to display on the login screen if our school uses multiple email domains. For example, a very large school district with many schools that ships carts of iPads back and forth may have different domains for all of their students. Once we have those settings configured to our liking, click Save. Our automated device enrollment profile is now complete, but there's one more setting we should configure. On the General tab in the Default Profile section, let's select Make this the default profile for iOS devices from the following automated enrollment accounts, and then select the Shared iPad account. This ensures that as we buy new devices for Shared iPad and assign them to our Shared iPad MDM server in Apple School Manager, then they are automatically assigned to this profile and ready for enrollment once they sync in. Click Save on the bottom right to finalize these settings. At this point, we can begin enrolling and organizing our Shared iPads. Shared iPads need to be assigned to their respective classes in order to work properly. There are many ways to do this depending on your use case, but here's what we recommend. First, create static device groups for different groups of shared iPads. These may be based on iPad carts assigned to various classes, storage boxes, or even rooms where the devices are located. Assign the devices manually or use placeholders to preemptively set which devices should belong in which groups. Then, assign those static device groups to the classes that should have access to them. Each class also has its own settings for app layout, deployable documents, and restrictions on shared iPads. To learn how to accomplish all of these tasks, check out the links in the resources. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again in another video.